Hi, it's me, Silver the Whack, with my ears blocked, and a new mug. Maybe you recognize the logo. The cup has been cooling for a bit, so I can hold it without the cozy. But it's still quite warm. Delicious. God, I really needed this. So I don't think I have a story today. Maybe I do, and I will check right now if I have anything that I didn't translate yet. I probably do. Let's see. This one. Come on. I've told this one, and this one, and this one too. This is a bit of a heavy one. I don't want to tell this one. There's this one, but I didn't translate it, and it's one of the long ones. And translating it like as I go, yeah, it'll end up too whack, even for my standards. So no. Sadly, I do not have any story, or maybe thankfully. I remember one. There's one that I remember like from memory, because it was a short one. It was a religious one. I hardly even remember the context. But yeah, it's actually the first time I'm using this mug. Does it say anything on the bottom? Yeah, it's official. I got it for Christmas like 2 years ago, but I never really used it because I just, it was kind of a collectible, but then I'm like, I wouldn't sell it because it was a gift, and if I happened to become rich, then I would be even less likely to sell it. So yeah, no, it's just my Peaky Blinders mug. I like the show. I also liked Oppenheimer. It was an interesting watch because at least I knew kind of the story of the development of the bombs, plural, unfortunately. But because Cillian Murphy is so charismatic, people kind of sided with Oppenheimer, even though like he wasn't happy with himself, right? Because there was higher powers, but he still developed the bomb, and you know, the story is kind of embellished in a way. Like, I think the way it was portrayed that the president was at fault is quite right, because of course if the president hadn't ordered the bombs to be deployed, none of that would have happened. But still, it was Oppenheimer who developed the bombs. So yeah, there's that. One funny thing, since these are my therapy random things vlogs, where I don't really do anything in particular, I don't have a plan on changing that. I didn't really like Cillian Murphy. Not because of anything I heard or read that he'd done, but because of his, like, piercing blue eyes. I thought it was unsettling, and that was when I realized that's where his charm lies, because of his ice cold blue eyes and his charisma and all that. Like, yeah. And then I saw some interviews, and obviously the person is not like the characters that he portrays. I mean, not obviously, it could be, but it's not the case, like, at all. And now here we are with Shelby Companies Limited, established 1919. What else does it say? By order of the Peaky Blinders, Small Heath. Yeah, the design is quite sleek, and yeah. I ended up finishing the coin purse that I was making. And thankfully it turned out alright, even though I am sure that this bit down here is either wrong or a different stitch altogether. But regardless, it's symmetrical. I didn't have to stitch any holes, and yeah, success. Let me put this in the finished I put it there. The other thing, the first failed attempt at has a kazoo, like my kazoo. And I put the beads, like the beads that I got. That's what I'm using this for. Damas doesn't even know how to tie up something so simple. I made another one of these. I'm just making them. I'm gonna gift it to my brother. Even if he doesn't use it, I just want to gift it to him. And I made myself another one, using the beads that I like the most, which, interestingly enough, are also the most interesting texture-wise, and I figured out what I was doing wrong with the other ones. Like, this was supposed to have a flower-like shape all along, but I think I might have skipped a step when I was looking at the tutorial the first time. I also started. I'm just showing up all the things that I've been doing. This it looks kind of wonky at the minute, but it will likely be fine. It's meant to be like an eye mask, a sleeping mask, and I will have to. Yeah, I will definitely have to put the cotton or something on the inside. Some kind of lining. I think I have black lining actually. I have fabric. I have enough fabric for the project that I'm making for a friend. And I think I might be able to snip off a bit of it and line it that way. Let's see if I can pull this one off. Because I'm not exactly following any tutorials, I'm just following the measurements of this one. And I don't want to ruin it. So, yeah. How come the videos get so long? Just... I mean, I guess I'm just chatting with my friend and anyone who wants to look at this content for whatever reason. I was also trying out some watercolors that I got, like cheap ones, and I tested one of those beginner tutorials for things, but this isn't the right kind of paper. As it's probably easy to tell, like there's even holes in it, but that's because I'm not very patient and I made the black lines when the paper was still wet. So my bad. Oh. God damn you. Professional. I was also doing some sketching, and I sketched Frankie. Don't praise it so much, it's just a sketch, like, come on. It's one of those things that, I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong and not everyone can do it, but I think most people can do it because I never really had issues doing it, so I don't know. Oh my god. And I'm a complete idiot, as you can tell very easily. By the way, these things go, and how clumsy I am. Okay. I'm not wearing a hoodie today because it's cold, but not too cold. Also the time changed, like it went from winter time to summertime, and I didn't know that was going to happen. So when I woke up today, I was very confused because the alarm went off, and I looked at the clock, the digital clock that I have, and the time was off. It was 1 hour back. So I was kind of confused. I'm not sure if we're gaining 1 hour or we're losing 1 hour. I think we're gaining 1 hour. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure though. Don't quote me, I'm bad at maths. Terrible, actually. I am the kind of person who would say 4 times 4 is 24. I don't even know if I'm saying that, if I'm correctly making the mistake or mistakenly making the mistake of saying it correctly, thus disproving what I've just said. Blippity bloop, it makes no sense. Point being, I'm really bad at maths. I did not get any A levels for maths. And when I went to university, like the first degree that I went to was actually one that relied somewhat on maths. And let's just say that I did not finish any of those courses that involved maths. Which, yeah. Really cool stuff. And now I just wasted a long time. Oh. Well, I didn't have money anyway, so yeah. My professor sending me more useless information about that scholarship. Like I have to go through a lot of motions and hurdles and talk to my supervisors in order to apply for something that I know I won't get. So let's do the breathing exercise, shall we? Shall we? Yeah. Let's do the 7, 4, 8, 4, 1. Let's put this up and listen to the lady.
Relax and get comfortable. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold.
might not seem like it, but this this does a lot for me. I look like Aunt Polly drinking from a Peaky Blinders mug. I don't know if they had this kind of mug at the time. I don't remember in the show. If they just... I remember them drinking liquor and stuff. And teacups. But this kind of cup? Probably not. I don't know. Yeah. It's strange not having a story to tell. I mean, I have the one. This one was one that I remember my grandma sometimes telling. Since it was so short. And it was like to make a point about people who were too religious. Right, so I was raised Roman Catholic. But not in a fervent kind of way. Like, I wasn't forced to go to church. Not after year 5 of Sunday school. Yeah, that's when I stopped going. Like, mandatory going on Sundays. And the funny thing is that it took me getting to adulthood to realize that the sermons were different every week. Like, ADHD really played the role in that, because I just got in, I sat down, I had some of I picked up on the cues to do the things like the communion with the holy wafer thing. I got up when everyone did. I sat down when everyone did. I mumbled the prayers. Some of them I just didn't know at all. And it took me into adulthood to realize that the sermons were different every week, that they were reading different passages from the Bible. This is kind of embarrassing in a way, because I really was completely tuned out. I remember that I would stare at the figures, because, you know, Catholic churches, Roman Catholic churches, I have experiences with Church of England churches as well, and yeah, no, that's the extent of it. I don't have experience with any of this. Yeah. The modern churches that I've gone into were more minimalistic, but they still have some like figures and saints and stuff like that, which Protestant churches don't. But Roman Catholic churches are full of those things, especially the old ones, which are like very... I didn't want to use this word, but bougie, because everything is covered in gold. Like, some of that is actual gold, like gold leaf or whatever it's called. And the saints are very ornamental and colourful, so I would sit there and stare at the saints and the angels and the ceiling and all those things, and I would just pay no attention to what they were reading. And then there were some songs which sucked, by the way. I am so sorry. Maybe it was my particular parish, but they were so bad. They just couldn't sing. And yeah, I remember when I did my first communion, right? Because in order to participate in the holy wafer thing, I don't recall if we did that in Church of England churches. One of my meds really messes up with my memory. But I don't recall that. I really don't. And at this point, I mean, why not? Let me check. Anyway, yes, I checked. There is the Holy Communion. I just don't remember the times when I went to the Church of England churches, if I participated. Because I remember someone, I can't recall who it was, telling me that I had to be part of the Church of England to partake in Church of England Holy Communion. But then I remember another occasion when I went, and the person I was with said that in the end we're all Christians, so if I wanted I could. So that's why I'm confused now. If I ever did that. And this makes me sound like I went to church a lot. I did as a kid. When I was going to Sunday school, I had to go to church. But the Holy Communion thing, I'm not entirely sure, because like I've said in some of my other vlogs, I didn't really stay in one place for too long. Like this place where I'm at now was the closest I had to the place where I belonged, because this was the place where I always returned to, right? Other than that, I just kept moving around. But this place was the place I could always return to. So yeah, that's why I find it difficult to leave. God, why is it making my eyes sting? Maybe because it reminds me of my grandma. Yeah, and this story that I was remembering was a little tale that she would tell, because like she was a Christian, of course, and a Roman Catholic Christian, but she wasn't like one of those people who went to church every Sunday or like participated in those processions and stuff like that. She didn't really do that. She didn't really feel connected to that. I never asked why, because I didn't have the knowledge or thought to ask why, since it didn't really matter to me. Especially now, knowing of all the trauma that some people have endured at the end of the religions in general. I'm not saying that religion is bad. Maybe I've said this before. I probably have, most definitely have, said that I believe in everything, and that includes Christianity. and all adjacent things, with the exception, of course, all rules have exceptions, except for that one. It's like the rule is the exception to itself. I don't believe in those like Christian adjacent cults in the bad sense of the word, where in order to participate you have to pay. Like, I don't believe in that. That's just a money grab. That's just preying on vulnerable people. While, for example, in Roman Catholic Church, at least in my parish, the one in my village, like, we have a little chapel that was built in the 1700s, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very adornate. I'm not sure if that's a word, but it's very colorful and stuff. And they have like this little basket where they collect donations. And some people like to chuck 10 euros, lots of money into it, but most people just drop €1, 50 cents, 20 cents into it, and that's good. No questions asked. There are no like fees, nothing like that. And I'm thinking of mandatory things. There are no mandatory things. It's just, for example, now we're in the Lent period, like the days leading up to Easter, which was a holiday, if we want to call it that was adapted or assimilated from pagan cultures. And in small villages like the one I'm in, they have this tradition of doing a procession, right? And not just the procession, they also go into people's houses, like as a group of people connected with the church, along with the priest, who goes into the houses of people and like blesses the house with holy water and says a couple of things and then is out. But in order for that to happen, you have to like put leaves and stuff in front of your doorstep to indicate that your house is open to, Jesus. Because they have like a cross that they carry with them, and they go around the people of the house and everyone kisses the cross, which is kind of gross. But since the little demon, little invisible demon, they started like cleaning it up with alcohol, the kind that comes in gel, before getting into the house. Like, the people of the house, it's fine, you know what I'm saying. Like, where I'm from, people greet each other with kisses on the cheek and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's a cultural thing. And when they get into the people's house, since that happened, they started like cleaning it up with the alcohol gel to disinfect the cross, the thing. Like, I think it's made of gold. It's fancy. And aside from the putting the leaves and stuff in front of your doorstep, which is, in my opinion, also reminiscent of pagan habits, people donate a bit of money to the church, right? But it doesn't have to be a lot. It's just a bit of money, like, because they know that people aren't rich, and this is just once a year, like not every month, and you're not forced to do it. If you don't want to do it, then you don't do it, and you can go to church anyway. It's fine. It's just one of those things, like, I don't know, because the community is built around the religion, then people feel compelled to do that, right? It's more of a community thing. Yes, it involves money. We don't know where that money goes, but it seems like the money is not being taken into anyone's pockets, because they recurrently have like small works done in the church, and yeah, I think that's where the things go. And also they decorate the things with the saints, like with flowers, fresh flowers and stuff like that, so I think that's where the money goes. This is me in my good faith believing that they're not pocketing the money. Yeah. I do believe in all beliefs, because I believe in the power of belief, like thought form. If enough people believe in something, then that thing will be a thing. And this is an old thing, actually. It's not just a recent thing because of some shows that may have come out and stuff. This is a really old thing for me, because I felt the energy of like believers, even if they didn't believe in the same things that I was brought up believing or made to believe. I felt the energy, and even when I go to like places of worship, I feel this energy. And again, this is one of those things, you either believe it or you don't believe it. Like, I'm not saying it's real or not. I'm not claiming to be a psychic. I'm not claiming that this is real. I will just say that I don't hear any voices. That, yeah, that doesn't happen. And I don't really need to take medication for that. So, yeah. Going on a wild tangent on religion, because I remember the little story that my grandma used to say about that. I think I may be able to translate it from memory, since it's so short and doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have a rhyme, but she said it so often that it just stuck. It doesn't really have a title, but let's say it's called the farmer and the hermit. Let's call it that. Maybe the worshipper, the farmer and the worshipper. Let's put it that way. And the story is like this. So, once upon a time, God and Saint Peter were going on a stroll, and they passed by a farmer who was toiling under the noon sun, very sweaty, and he was very angry and cussing at everything and everyone, even though he was alone, but he was toiling and working non-stop. And so God turned to the farmer and said, "Bless thee, O holy soul." They kept going, and they stopped and saw that a worshipper was kneeling, a worshipping hermit was kneeling and praying and begging for money. And God said, "Bless thee, doomed soul." And Saint Peter was very confused and asked, "My lord, why did you call the farmer was cussing and swearing a blessed soul, and you called the worshipper hermit doomed soul?" And God said, "That is because the farmer was working very hard to earn his food, and the hermit worshipper was just kneeling and begging for money." The end. Yeah, she told it in a much more engaging way. I am not the best storyteller in the world, but yeah, that's a story I think people who don't really believe in showing up to church every Sunday, like people who don't believe that will save them, if that makes sense. Because in my grandma's case, she worked a whole life since she was 7. She started working when she was 7. That's why she didn't go to school. And yeah, she kept working, like, to the very last moment she could. She kept working. She didn't want to be doing nothing. She didn't like to be doing nothing. I believe that she also had some form of hyperactive disorder, because it runs in the family. Like, my mom is the same way. In my case, my ADHD is more like in the mind, though I go very fast. If I'm not on medication, I go very fast. The thing though is that, like, I want to work, but there's also the autism problem, which in my case it manifested in a way that renders me completely useless in the face of, like, people. Like customer service. I mean, for example, if I have to go to a public place, let's say to get my ID renewed, that's fine. if I have to go to the post office, that's fine. That kind of thing. But having to deal with customers, yeah, that's not fine. Because I just keep doing this all day because of stress. Since I don't know what to expect, and that really puts me in overdrive. It makes me sound like an asshole. It makes me sound like I'm making up excuses, but I really am not. I have worked in the field, and I can say with 100% certainty that if I have to go back, I will probably, you know that scene? Yeah. But it won't just be a dream. Like, hospitality work is just not for me. So I've been searching and searching, but I'm just not lucky. And yeah, I have been unable to find anything remote or in my field. Yeah. I do freelance translations. I got flaked on by that prof. Now I'm just here fending for myself and having to submit an application for something that I know I won't get. Going through a bunch of bureaucracy that is just pointless. Honestly, it's just pointless. It's just, yeah. And finding jobs where I am is impossible, basically, because this is a village, like I said, and even around here everything is taken. Even my brother has trouble with that, so yeah. It's just a pain. I keep sending resumes, and yeah, I just get automated responses when I do, when they have that in practice. But yeah, overall I have no luck. And I'm not saying it's because of the world is against me or anything. The world isn't against anyone. It's just the way it is, you know? Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. I'm not really complaining about the way things are made. You know, maybe other people really are better fits. So yeah, I'm not complaining about that. It's not everyone's fault. It's me. The problem is clearly me. And yeah, as much as that is bad, well, it is what it is, right? But that's it, and that's enough. We're not getting to 15 minutes today. I did not explain what the thread joke was about, though. Yeah, it's because I appear like a summon demon. But yeah, I'll be back, and that's a threat. Bye bye.